Well, hello, my beautiful Virgo. How are you? It's been forever since I've been in your energy. Thank you for joining my video and watching me and let me in your energy again. Appreciate it. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I'm at Simply Cindy on YouTube. I had been back and forth, gone away from YouTube for a while. And because, like everybody, we were doing our cycles and figuring stuff out. And with Pluto and Capricorn, it broke down a whole bunch of structures for people. And I was one of those people. So, anyway, I'm saying Pluto because I'm doing a Pluto series. I'm going to talk about it here in a little bit. Um, but for those of you that don't know me, I am a medium. I have lots of modalities and tools in my bag. Um, but decided to come back. My goal this year is to come back full time on YouTube. And I thought I'd do some astrology because a lot of people I see that are starting to be, maybe in the last year or so, it's starting to be popular. People are wanting to know it, but it's such a vast um, concept and it's got layers to it. And I started doing astrology, I think like 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere through there. It's been a lifelong journey for me, but it's sort of a thing that I love. I love astrology because I've got a before doing all this, I used to work in the medical field, so I've got a science background. Like I like the data, I like the science behind stuff. So I realize science is way behind than spirituality, but if there's science, if there's data, I like to show it. And astrology is the perfect way to do that, or one of the perfect ways to do that. There's other ways too, but this way I can show you what I know as a medium. I see them, the planets, the houses, the signs, I see them all as characters and how they help you get through this life, the themes of this life, and the challenges and the gifts and all of that. So, this is sort of my way of showing you how I see it and sort of help translate it because that's what I am. I'm a medium, I'm a translator, and see if you sort of get it. Maybe it'll be a little bit more easier to digest. Yeah, maybe a little bit easier to digest, and make it a little bit more enjoyable because I know it can get dry because you don't know what all the we forget as astrologers they don't know what the aspects mean and the blah 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 and all of that. Anyway, so I started doing this Pluto series because Pluto is such a big transit, and that's sort of the way that I'm going to bring out astrology here on this channel is as we go through some major themes and planets and stuff, I'm going to introduce those to you. And again, I see them as characters and they have sort of a personality for me. So I'm going to introduce them to you, get you to know them a little better so that when you see other astrologers here on YouTube or whatever social media you see them on, you can kind of understand a little bit better, right? But Pluto is a big transit. Pluto's a planet that's sort of a generational planet, and so not sort of, it's a generational planet because it moves slower, right? And so there are generations behind the way a Pluto is in a sign. So Pluto is no joke. I know if you know me, if you've known me, you know Pluto has been big in my life. You know I talk about Pluto a lot, but I decided for a week and a half. It took me a week and a half. But I decided to go in there because this is such a big transition because we're moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, and I know you've heard all of this before. But we're Pluto, that planet is moving from has moved from Capricorn into Aquarius, and it will be there for the next 20 years. It was in Capricorn for 15, 16 years. So, and you've seen the last 15, 16 years, we had structures decimated, torn out, torn down, seen differently, and now we're moving into Aquarius, which is a very different energy, but it's in a different area too. So that's why I'm doing the Pluto series. When I channeled, I wanted to know not just what Pluto's doing in each of these houses and because Pluto brings up your trauma, brings up your fear, brings up your obsessions, and it will transform. So you'll have transformation, and it's a power play. So it will empower you at the end if you do decide to heal your Pluto. I can see your past, present, and future lives. So in astrology, Pluto is one of the planets where we can see that. I can see it through mediumship. I can see it through, you can see it through hypnosis. That's what I do with hypnosis, with past, present, future. You can see these traumas that you've sort of kept with you for lifetimes because you're trying to get through them, right? So anyway, with that being such a prominent thing right now, and us having, we're going to change. Things are going to change in a very transformative, big way for the next 20 years. So that's why I'm doing the Pluto. But with the Pluto, that's why I'm doing the Pluto series. With the Pluto series, I have I went in there and I not, like I said, I didn't just want to know what Pluto was doing in these houses, what trauma was coming up, how these houses worked, what all of that. I went deep. But I wanted to know, I don't want to just know what's going on in here. I want to know how to get out of it. I want to know how to clear the baggage. I mean, it's time for us to sort of transmute that energy, transform ourselves, become powerful in that area. We've been trying for lifetimes. Like, I need, again, I have science. I like science. It's not the end all be all, but I like science, right? And so I'm like, I need steps. I need steps. My Virgo South Node, my South Node is in Virgo, so I associate with you guys that way. So I'm very Virgo like that. I'm like, I want to know steps and how to do this in a practical way that's going to help us heal this, because I'm kind of enough with the bullshit. Basically what I've said. Pluto's very prominent in my chart. He has been very prominent in my life, just like what he just did for the last 16 years. My life looks nothing like it looked beginning in 2008. So, with that being said, you have a Pluto. There's a Pluto in your natal chart, and that your natal chart, for those of you that don't know anything, hardly anything about astrology, your natal chart is, the way I explain it is, it's like the moment you were born, the universe took a picture of you and all the planets and the houses and the stars and the signs and where you were at in comparison to where they were at. And he's handing you the picture in this natal chart, and he's saying, the universe is saying, this is sort of a roadmap for you. These are the themes that you want to have go on in your life. These are the way your soul wants to experience and grow things, the understandings you want to have. This is sort of just a roadmap. It's kind of up to you because you have free will. It's up to you to decide whether you want to pick any of those up or not. Whether you're going to pay, doesn't mean they won't do anything. It just means, are you going to pay attention to it or not? That's kind of up to you. So that's the natal chart. You can get your natal chart on astro.com. I have my own software here, but you can get it for free on astro.com. Just plug in your birth date, birth time, birth location, and you'll get a chart. When you get the chart, this is Pluto right here. This is what he looks like. This is the symbol. This is the symbol for Aquarius, okay? So when you get your natal chart, look to see what house that symbol is for you. That means that's where Pluto was at when you were born. That would be your natal Pluto. That's the video you want to look at, although I say look at all the videos because they all have something to help you get through these houses. And then we have what's called the transiting. So after you were born, the planets don't stop moving, the universe doesn't stop moving, Earth doesn't stop moving, you don't stop moving. So that's what we call a transit, wherever Pluto is now. So Pluto is in Aquarius now. So then what you do to find your transit, Pluto is in your chart, you look for the sign Aquarius. And whatever house that's in, that's the other video you want to look at. Because the transit is going to bring up, Pluto's going to bring up different things for a transit than he is for a natal. I hope that makes sense. You guys are really smart. You can get this. So the reason I'm talking about it again is because if you see, this area of the chart is very active. It's what we call activated. It's very active, especially this house, the Aquarian house. That's why we've been hearing so much about Aquarius. This house and this house and these house. Look at all that. Today I'm only going to talk about these three because I don't want to overwhelm you. Again, this is going to be a slow process. You're going to really get to know these planets, really get to know. There's no rush. Pluto is going to be here in Aquarius for 20 years. Now, I will tell you, Pluto brings up your fears, your obsessive, like I said, your fears, your obsessions, and your trauma. So it will be up to you. Do we want to like learn that in the first 5 years, first year, first 6 years, first whatever? Do you want to, or do you want to wait and learn it at year 19, year 18? Like that's kind of up to you. But he's going to be giving you some clues. This chart gives us some clues about the themes and the stuff that's going to come up for our generation, for our globe, for our community, for your family, for you personally. Okay? Because, and the reason I say that is because it's Aquarius, humanitarian. So all that's going to be brought up. We kind of got a glimpse of it in March of 2023 because Pluto had gone into Aquarius for a little bit. Then he went back into Capricorn. And he will do that again. He's going to go back into Capricorn in September. And then he will go back in November into Aquarius, where he will be there for the next 20 years. Like it's full steam ahead from that point. Now, right now, we have all planets direct. So these themes are really coming up, and these clues and hints and these areas of your life are starting cycles. So we're getting hints. What we call a conjunction is when two planets are close together and I say they're talking to each other, right? So their energies are talking to each other. Again, to me, I'm a medium. They speak and I translate their language. Their language is not our language, it's a language. Anyway, so Pluto is here at 0 degrees Aquarius. He has been, and this video is about the new moon, but hang in there. It's all going to come together because it's all connected. Okay, hang in there. So Pluto was talking to the sun, and he was having a conversation about you, and the sun is like shining brightly. He's trying to bring you some clarity about some things that are some cycles that are going to start. Right now, Mercury's talking to Pluto, and they're talking about you. And these are some cycles that are, so you should be getting word about something that's coming up in this area of your life. Then Mars is going to be talking to Pluto. Then Venus is going to be talking to Pluto. Okay, so these are these are all cycles because Pluto is a longer transiting planet, right? So these are cycles. So in the next few months, now, the past couple weeks, now into the next few months, pay attention when they start talking to each other because it's giving you clues. And the reason I say this is because in September, Pluto's going back to Capricorn and finishing up Capricorn. And we're going to be finishing up stuff from the past, stuff that we hadn't closed out, stuff that people are being stubborn about, systems are being stubborn about. Because Pluto is all about, with Capricorn, who's destroying structures, right? So we're going to be rebuilding in a very Aquarian way. But as the days go by, I want you to pay attention to if they say, oh, Pluto's talking to Mars. What does that mean? And pay attention because you're a Virgo, this is going to be happening. If this is you, Virgo, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yours is the 6th house. If you're a Virgo ascending, sun or moon, okay? It's your 6th house. I read the chart through the ascending, but that's just because the ascending is the whole piece of everything. It's the mental, it's the psychological, it's the spiritual, it's the ego, it's the soul, it's the body. That to me is the 1st house. That to me is the ascendant, the rising sign, right? So he's talking and he's activated in your 6th house and in your 5th house. These are activated. In your 7th house, that's activated. And these are the things that I'm going to be talking about just right now. But the reason I know this is because we have a new moon in Aquarius today. I was doing the Pluto series and I stopped, had to get out of that. So I decided to do a new moon series real quick. And that's why you guys are lasting on I tried to do it as fast as I could, but I don't want to rush things like I did before. I'm doing stuff differently now. And I want to give you the best. I want to give every sign the best. Okay. So if that takes me till today to get it out, that's what it takes me. I'm no longer It wasn't like it was before where I had to try to get stuff out of it. It was just a whole, I mean, it was the Virgo thing. Totally was the Virgo thing. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not. So this is nice and relaxed, and we're going to enjoy this. I'm going to show you my world a little bit. So this new moon, it's almost like the universe is saying to you, hey, you got some new cycles starting. You get to direct this. And this is in the area of your sixth house, which is your health, your well-being, your everyday routine. Are you taking care of yourself? Your body is talking to you. So you may have in the last, 6 months, 8 months, a year, begin to have some body issues. Yeah, because it's your body talking to you, and that's a whole other video of what we can do for that, because I do herbs too. I'm an herbalist. And I have Virgo in the South Node, so as you can tell, when I was corporate and working 100 hours a week, 80, 100 hours a week, yeah, it burned my body out. So, Virgo, these next 20 years, it's about paying attention to you, how you see and want your daily routine. What do you want in that routine? What do you not want in that routine? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you paying attention to your body? Are you paying attention to, because Pluto has just spent 16 years in your fifth house, which was you having stunted, your creativity was stunted, and you working through the whole thing of overcoming what you were told about how you could do things, that you didn't do it right, or you even thought you didn't do it right. It wasn't good enough. You've kind of just been through that, right? Now we're moving into the sixth house, where now I want to know, I want to be sure and pay attention to me. I want to make sure and make my life balanced. I want to make sure and build my life where it's not so hectic, where I don't have to shut down for days, where I don't have to ignore people or ignore things because it's so overwhelming. That's kind of what's coming up in the area of life for you, okay? With the new moon, it's like the universe is saying, this is your shot. Let us know how you want things in this area of your life. You should have gotten some word recently, or you're going to get some word, because Pluto is there talking to Mercury, and what Pluto brings up is your fear, trauma, and obsessions. Now, Virgo, you can get obsessions where you're just like, I got to do it right. I got to do it. Or you do the opposite. You do complete opposite and completely ignore it. Like, you're not even going to look at it, okay? Which may be the issue in your sixth house, where you've ignored things in your daily life. And that's going to change. That's got to change. So you may have gotten word now that Pluto's talking. But whatever's coming up, pay attention, because it's not going to be an easy fix. You're going to be going through, it's the start of a cycle. But you got the sun cycle, you got the Mercury cycle, you got the Mars cycle, you got the Venus cycle. Then there's going to be like the Jupiter cycle. There's like 4 or 5 cycles starting, and that's why I want you to pay attention from now until September, because that's going to give you a clue as to what you're going to be working on in the next 20 years. How you're going to be clearing this out. Are you meditating? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you at the gym? Are you eating right? All of this is going to be highlighted for you. And if you're not, I don't wish this upon anybody, because I've had this. But if you do not pay attention to your body, it is going to shut down. That's as plainly as I can say it without getting in trouble on YouTube. Okay? It will shut down, because it did with me. So trust me when I say it. I'm telling you, my South Node is in Virgo. I know how to be Virgo. I've mastered Virgo. Okay? So pay attention to your daily life. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to your brain. Pay attention to your thoughts. This is that time, okay? In this new moon, I want you to focus on, how do you see a well-balanced life for you? Even if that means I work less, but I have a great job that I don't even have to work much, and I get paid twice the amount that I used to get paid working many, many more hours. Like, call that into you. I also like, how do you see your daily life with your family? I see my family all the time, even though you may not yet. I want you to like dream about it, think about it, create it. Okay. You just went through this creation house, so you know how to create. You're way better at creating now than you were before. Okay. So, how do you see that? It's almost like some of you have been doing this, creating, and then ignoring your body. And it's time to sort of balance both of those, if that makes any sense. So, in this new moon, if you need a ritual, you definitely need to take the Epsom salt bath. I have many, many videos over the years, if you know me, many videos on how to do this, but I'll go over it real quickly. You get yourself an Epsom salt bath. You put Epsom salt in the bath water, and you imagine light coming through the water, light going into the water, and then go into the water and just relax in that and let it envelop you and let it recharge you and let it mineralize you. Let it give you some nourishment, right? And really stabilize you for 10 minutes, no more, no less, just 10 minutes. If you want that sort of ritual, if you need a ritual, if that's your belief system, you can do that, right? You can do sage, you can journal, you can meditate, you can just watch, listen to music, whatever you feel to get you into that space of really good comfort space. And then I want you to dream. I want you to think about how you want your life. And if you've gotten news about your body and maybe something's going on with it, I want you to envision how you are at your best state. Not how to get there. I just want you to envision how you are. How do you see yourself if you had no aches, no pains, no disease, no nothing? I just want you to see that. I want you to see that and try to step into it. You don't have to step into it, but just try. Try to feel what it's like. If you have pain, what does it feel like to not have any pain? Because there was a time when you didn't have pain, when your body wasn't screaming at you, because that's what it's doing. It's screaming at you. But what did that feel like before that happened, right? What did it feel like to have such mental clarity and be in such a good mood all the time, not have to shut people down or shut people out or do all of that? What does that feel like? What do you want to call into your life? Because that's basically what's happening here in this sixth house, okay? Now, you are going to get a gift. Some of you may be meeting somebody, and some of you may be taking that somebody that you've had to the next level, to the seventh house, right? But for when Mars and Venus come together for me, I do see people coming into people's life. Like, this is the time where you can have um, a person come in and they came from nowhere and you started dating them and that ended up being your spouse. Like, it can go long term. Um, or if you have someone, this could be the time where you're really enjoying each other and taking it to the next level, even if you are a spouse, even if you have a spouse, like, you two are enjoying your time. Whatever this is, whatever you've been working on with Capricorn, with Pluto and Capricorn for the last 15, 16 years, you're going to be receiving a gift from this. You're going to, now, whether that's, and it's going to be something you really like. It's something that you've worked on. And that's kind of why I see this here, because Venus and Mars are talking about how to give you the gift of what you've accomplished. When they go to Pluto, they're going to be talking about something else, right? But right now, they're basically talking about that. Now, in your seventh house, you have Pisces there. So for a year now, Saturn's been in there, and he basically is, Pisces is formless and Saturn is form, right? So Pisces is sort of open and beautiful, and you are probably very beautiful. People probably see you that way. If you're a Pisces, yeah, if you're a Pisces ascending and you have your seventh house in, I mean, if you're a Virgo ascending and have your seventh house in Pisces, you probably are very beautiful, or people always say that to you. You may not think so because you're the Virgo, but they probably say that too. You probably attract a lot of people too. But you've had Saturn in there, which you kind of probably had to work on your relationships a lot this last year. And I'm going to tell you, you got to work on them for the next 2 years. So you can get through this, get it done, and not have to do the whole 2 years. But this is why I'm bringing that to you, because Saturn wants you to be responsible in this area. Saturn is like, I call him Big Daddy Saturn, because he's like the father figure that's like, say you're the teenager and you're like, I want a car. And he's like, I'll give you the car, but you need to show me that you can take care of it, that your grades are good, that you're responsible. Like, that's what Saturn's trying to do in your house, seventh house. Seventh house is about partnerships, relationships. That could mean your spouse and and people that you have been dating for a little bit, but that also could mean your business partners. It could mean any partner, okay? So it sounds like you have been in the last year with Saturn being here. He's trying to make you responsible. Show up when you say you're going to show up. But for you guys, I don't feel like it's not showing up. I feel like you don't ask for help when you need to. And I think this is where Saturn's saying, well, you're always the one to help, but you need to take responsibility for yourself as well. So if you need help, if you need someone to lean on, this is that time. That's what you need to do. Like, you need to balance your life. And I'm seeing this has a lot to do with your physical self. So maybe you've overextended yourself and you're trying to learn how to rebalance everything. That's kind of what I'm seeing with Saturn and Pisces and Pluto here in your sixth house, and Mercury here, and the sun here, and the moon here. And you got Mars coming, and you got Venus coming. And when they're talking to Pluto, all Pluto wants to talk about is trauma. All Pluto wants to talk about is your fear. All Pluto wants to talk about is your obsessions. All Pluto wants to do is empower you. So he is going to bring those things before you in this house. So pay attention. We're going to be going over this. My Pluto series. Again, I'm not trying to rush anything because I have to relive all of that stuff when I'm explaining it to you in the video. So I'm just pulling out the houses as I bring out the houses. Okay. But I do have the 12th, the 1st, the 2nd, and I think the 11th will come out on Tuesday, I think, but look for it. So let's get to your tarot. So I hope this helps. I hope you understand. We're going to talk more about this stuff, and as these transits come about, I'm going to help. I'm not going to teach, but I am going to help. And if you want to know, maybe these planets and these signs and these houses will become really, really familiar with you. Okay? So let's get to your... I already pulled the cards for the tarot. I already pulled the cards, and it's just a 4-card spread. Sorry. It's my spread. So this is your foundation. This is the energy that's coming to you, where you're headed. This is what's holding you back or what's blocking you, however you like to say that. And this is the outcome. So you do have the Temperance here. So I am feeling like after going through all of that for the last 16 years, and especially the last 2 or 3 years, you're finally seeing how you got your life the way that you wanted it, or the way that you want it, but you have... Here's the thing. I see that you have the life the way that you want it, but that's only because you chose to ignore some things that need some attention. So you're pretty balanced and even in that with the Temperance, but I'm seeing that you're sort of running on reserves. And this is interesting because that's not usually what I see with the Temperance, but this is what I'm feeling now, is that, you're in a good space, but some things are going to come up. If not recently, some things are going to come up. That's weird. I'm going to hold true to, it's almost like you're making yourself delusional by saying, oh, everything's fine. It's not, because you got some stuff in the background that's not, but you're choosing to ignore it. And you have such a way of like completely ignoring it that it feels like it's fine out here. That's what I'm seeing. So this is where you're at. Now, where you're headed and what's heading your way is the Page of Swords. To me, that's delay. To me, that's like, God, you have such a strong hold on energy. Like you can move it. I see where things that are supposed to be coming to you are delayed. Things that you've been waiting for are delayed. And it's because you're choosing to ignore and face some of the things that you need to face. Just because it feels better right now. Because I don't know if you've... I hate to use the word delusional, but it's like you know what you're telling yourself is not correct, but it helps you to go throughout the day. So I hope that's not too harsh, but it's because and what it's caused is these things, these gifts, these actions, these things that need to be organized, that need to be done, they're being delayed because you need to look at yourself. You need to look at the body. You need to look at your mental health, your social health, your physical health. You need to like look at that. So I hope that helps. And what's blocking you, if you can see that, you have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords to me is telling me that there are some choices that you need to make. And you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You know this, but you can't see it clearly. And it's like, what do? I can't see it clearly. And the thing that you know to do, you're pretending like you don't see it clearly. Like, why are you lying to yourself? Like, I feel like y'all are lying to yourselves. Because it just makes it feel better. But you're just delaying what needs to come anyway. What's going to come. So, this is what's holding you back, is that you can't see as clearly as you usually see. And even using your psychic abilities, your empathic abilities, your physical ability, whatever, those have been, they've been stunted. I told you, because, Saturn's in Pisces, so they've been stunted around relationships. You can't see as easily. You can't feel as easily. You can't, like, that stuff has been, it's Saturn saying, you need to be responsible. We're going to make you work for this right now. So you need to be able to transform this, you need to have faith in yourself. That's what you need to have, is faith in yourself. That's what's going to transform this. And by that I mean, without using your powers, make a choice and trust in yourself. Okay? Have faith in yourself. Okay? All right. And your outcome is the Emperor. You are building something great, and you are going to build it. It's the Emperor. But here's the thing. It's time for you to reach out and not try to build this alone. You got to build it with your community. We're going to be in Aquarius energy. We are in Aquarius energy. And y'all know I'm an Aquarius ascending. It's community. It's family. It's friendships. It's organizations, which you love. You like to be organized. Organizations and groups and community. And you're going to need to reach out. You're going to need to let people know, I'm overwhelmed. I can't do this level anymore. I can't do it. So in the coming months, I need you to be easy on yourself, to trust yourself, to start looking at yourself, pay attention to yourself. And when it's time, you do need to reach out, because there are people around you that love you and will help. Okay? All right. I hope I helped. Let me know how you're doing. I haven't been in your energy. Thank you so much for allowing me. And let me know if you like this. And watch my Pluto series. I'll have the first one up here at the end of this video. I love you, love you, love you. Bye.